Hello children, today I am going to explain the poem Lotus. The poem Lotus is written by Toru Dutt. Talking about the lotus, we all know that lotus is considered as a sacred flower and it is the national flower of India. There is a symbolism associated with lotus. It is known for its pristine purity and its beauty. Well, it grows in muddy water and rises above the surface to bloom with such purity. And then this flower, we again use it to offer it to gods and goddesses. So, divinity is associated with the lotus flower. Now, before the explanation of any poem, it's very important to know about the poet. Yes, the background of the poet. So now I would like to tell you a little about Toru Dutt. Now coming to the poet Toru Dutt. Now, Toru Dutt, she was born on 4th March 1856 in Kolkata and she died very young at the age of 21 on 30th August 1877 in Kolkata itself. She is regarded as the founding figure of Anglo-Indian literature along with Sarojini Naidu, Manmohan Ghosh and Michael Madhusudan Datta. Hope you have heard their names. So now Toru Dutt, she was the first Indian poetess to write verses in French and English and she was influenced by both these two languages. In 1869, the family moved to France and later moved to Britain, where she pursued her education in Cambridge along with French literature. When she returned to India, she again went back to her roots and started studying Sanskrit. Okay, so now I shall be reciting the poem The Lotus by Toru Dutt. Love came to Flora, asking for a flower, that to the flowers be undisputed queen. The lily and the rose long, long had been rivals for that high honor. Birds of power had sung their claims. The rose can never tower like the pale lily with her Juno mane. But is the lily lovelier? Thus between flower factions rang the strife in Psyche's bar. Give me a flower delicious as the rose and stately as the lily in her pride. But of what color? Rose red? Love first chose, then prayed, no lily white, or both provide. And Flora gave the lotus rose red dyed and lily white, the queenliest flower that blows. Well, coming to the explanation of the poem, uh, we all know that the lotus is a sonnet. A sonnet means a 14-line poem. In the very first line itself, you see, love came to Flora asking for a flower. So L and F, they are in capital letters, telling us that they are proper nouns. So the god of love came to the goddess of flower, that is Flora, and asked for a flower, that to the flowers be undisputed queen, that would be regarded as the queen of all flowers. The lily and the rose long, long had been rivals for that high honor. High honor means the superiority, the superior position. Already the lily and the rose, they were competitors for this high position. They were fighting to get this top position. Birds of power had sung their claims. Birds of power means the mighty poets, the poets who wrote influential verses in praise of the rose or the lily. And they had written such powerful lines. They had written that the rose can never tower like the pale lily with her Juno mane. Juno mane means Juno refers to the Roman goddess and she is the wife of Jupiter. And mane refers to the face. So over here we see that the lily is compared to the face of Juno. Okay, that is the goddess who is known for her beauty, her dignity, her authority. So Lily is given such a top position, a superior position. Lily is compared to the goddess. Okay. But is the lily lovelier? Again, some factions of the poets, they said that is the lily lovelier? So they questioned the superiority of the lily. Thus between flower factions ranked the strong Psyche's bar. Psyche was a beautiful and she was loved by Cupid. Again, this has reference to Roman mythology. And bower means a pleasant place in the shade of a tree or in a garden. And Psyche, she herself was so beautiful, and this was the most suitable place to decide about the conflict, that who would be the loveliest of all flowers. Will it be the rose or will it be the lily? So these flower factions, that is the different groups of poets who either favored the rose or the lily, they were trying to find out a solution to this problem. Okay. Then coming to the second stanza. Give me a flower delicious as the rose and stately as the lily in her pride. So these are the lines of the god of love. Love said that give me a flower which is as beautiful as the rose. And stately, stately over here refers to the majestic qualities of the lily. The lily, you have seen the lily? The lily stands straight. Okay, just like with dignity and has a majestic appearance. And just like in authority, pride over here refers to dignity, to authority. Yes, so now over here love, the god of love, suggests that give me a beautiful flower just like the rose, and a flower which has the majestic appearance like the lily. But of what color? So again, there was a conflict between the color. That means what color to be endowed on that flower. Rose red, love for chose. So the first opinion of love was to give the color of red, just like the rose. Then prayed, no, lily white. Then requested that, no, I want the white color just like the lily. So over here the god of love was confused that what color to give in this new flower, or both provide. Then he came up with a solution. No, I want a combination of both the flowers. So just mix the red and white. What color will you get? Definitely pink, isn't it? And Flora gave the lotus. So ultimately Flora, that is the goddess of flowers, gave the lotus rose red dyed, the color of red from the rose, and lily white, and the color of white from lily, and along with the qualities of both the flowers, the queenliest flower that blows. And ultimately the lotus comes into being, which has the characteristics, the qualities, the color of both the rose and the lily. Okay. The poem follows a particular rhyme scheme. So let's have a look at the pattern of rhyming words. The words flower, power, tower, bower, they rhyme, and we can use the letter A for that. And if we use the letter B for queen, bean, mean, between, then in the first stanza we see that the rhyme scheme becomes A, B, B, A, A, B, B, A. Again in the second stanza we see that row, chose and blows are rhyming, which we can use the letter C, and pride, provide, died, for that we can use the letter D. Right? So the rhyme scheme is A, B, B, A, A, B, B, A, C, D, C, D, D, C. Okay? So next we come to poetic device. Now let me mention about poetic device, which is a form of literary device used in poetry. A poet uses this to create rhythm and enhance a poem's meaning. Now, at your age, it's better to know about personification and simile. So, personification means when human qualities are endowed on abstract things. Right? So here we see that love, flora, rose and lily are personified. Next we come to simile. Simile, we have come across similes which are known as comparison, and the words like and as are used. So the similes in the poem are, in this line you see, rose can never tar like the pale lily. Next, a flower delicious as the rose. And next, stately as the lily. Indian culture is reflected in our national flower, lotus. Okay, because lotus assimilates both the qualities of the rose and the lily. So also we see that Indian culture is so liberal, it accepts everything. Okay, so this is a critical view forwarded by some of the critics. Hope, Chinmay, you liked the poem.